I did. All right, guys, it's 4:13. It's July 7th, and it is Monday. Take a look at disclosure. Let's get to it. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. So I guess it's kind of cute, or not so cute, that on Thursday, I still had a lot of longs on, but I was so short that when the market, the spies went to 626 from 624, and I was all of a sudden losing more than I was making long because I trimmed out of a lot of positions and I added a lot of spy hedges. And people on the VTF like, we know what this means. It means we're close to something, whatever that something is. And PS, so today was a little bit of the something, not crazy, but we did trade below. Um, Thursday's low. We did fill the gap, so this gap is gone. Did give us a new point of reference, which is now right here. And we'll see what happens next. One of these guys like, so when does it get exciting for the Bears? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, one step at a time. You know, they finally got it below a prior low, um, and now we're just getting to the 8 day. How exciting is it for the Bears? And who cares? Like, what does that mean? It's because there are guys that like to be short. I'm like, at this point, we were just extended. The oscillator was plus 44, now we're plus 9. We didn't even really get to the 8 day yet. So now, we'll see what happens here. Does anything change? Last time they tried to change things was here. And then that day happened, and then they refreshed the entire move. Now, we'll see. The 21 days all the way down here. So that's why I tried to clean up a few things today. And it still hurt. I was short two sets of premium. I came in, the spies were only down a buck 60. I shorted the spies down a buck 60. I shorted some lower strikes, and I still lost money today, more than I probably would have wanted to. But anyway, so now here's that. So if the Bears want to keep things excited, you probably don't get above today's high. If you want to give it a little bit more room, that's 624.03. They want to really keep the pressure on. They don't give it above that prior low, and they start getting some stocks for sale. Stocks weren't very for sale. The tariff news came out and it seemed like the computers were sold, programmed to sell stock on those tariff news, but it wasn't like they were really selling names. Look at Dash today. Holy cow. Wow. I thought I'd have more time. Guess not. That was good. So a lot of stocks we focused on were pretty good. That ASTS is trying to hold around, held in there. In time, maybe it goes again. Um, Nvidia wasn't so bad. Look at that, held kind of where it had to. I said it has to hold 155 to 157, and you know, still, it's not. It's like even elevated. There's really not a lot of sellers there. This is smaller now. This doesn't mean much. This low is what? New point of reference 157.34, not an ish. It's a 34 now. Um, this is moving up a little bit. So we'll see. See how elevated things stay or not. Amazon was pretty good. Google was not as good. So let's run through those real quick. So like, because everyone likes when I do like an order of high beta tech, and there's really no order right now. Amazon is trying to prove it can go higher. Still looks good. I'm still in stock and options. Pretty easy going today. Maybe a false sense of security, maybe not. I hope not. Google pulled back more than, more than Amazon and Nvidia, but because it went below the prior low, but it's still above the 8-day. It's still above here. It just tends to be a little looser and wider. It was up today, but it's still in rebuilding mode. You could actually take this up now to here. That 708 was important there. It's just not as important now. It's, hey, does it hold 712.80 and get going again? It's just in rebuild mode. Things get into rebuild mode. We'll see what happens here. This was a leader, rebuilding. What did Netflix do today? Yeah, held. Also, you could bring this up instead of 1260. This is 1271 that's holding. This 1260 is down here. This out of the way. You know, you have 3 new points of reference, but still hasn't penetrated into, you know, this wide range bar yet. So again, going back to the point, you know, should the bears get, you know, excited? Well, you had your first step, breaking ascending channel, still on the 8-day, no downside follow through. So if it stays below here and turns into an H cell setup, and you happen to be a Netflix bear, you know, that could happen. But we'll see. This high here is what? 1302. Someone said to me today, Netflix is not going to end well. So I said, okay. Not going to end well is not a trading strategy. I'll give you one. If you think Netflix isn't going to end well, you could be short verse 1302. Gets above 1302. The H cell setup is not the reason to be shorted. If you want to be shorted because it's below this low, you have to give it to that. And if it shows relative weakness, and if it gets weaker and breaks below 1271, you could add. So let me frame for you a way to trade this if you don't think Netflix, which is an opinion, is not going to end well. That's my job, is to frame the trade for you or for whoever it is that wants it. I don't want that trade. Apple, it got loose and wide. Same way it got loose and wide to the upside, it got loose and wide to the downside. What did it do? It did a red dog reversal. What does that mean? It got above prior high and couldn't hold it. So some people adjusted their size there, and some people when it went below 211. So I didn't quite get the perfect trade. I tried to be in it a little bit longer. I got out when it broke 211.80-ish. Now I'll wait. Now I'm just going to let it do a little bit of discovery. It's been so, you know, it went as low as what? 208.80. So instead of 208-ish, you now have 208.80 because we know what today's low is for tomorrow, if it sees it or not. And that's how you kind of frame things. Nice buy here. Done for now. 214 was the target. Went to 216 and change before doing a red dog reversal. If you use your sell rules, sell into strength, sell when it can't get above and stay above a prior high, and then maybe it changes below a prior low. That's your Apple sell rules. Wild. Definitely a little wild today. Let's move on. We did in the video. Still looks very contained. That's the word. Contained. What does a Vigo look like? All right. Just wasn't ready to get above there. It's still pretty contained. It's still above the 8-day. If you want to make a channel here, you know, it's still above the halfway mark to keep it easier to hold than not. Right? So who knows how long this channel takes, but it still looks decent comparatively speaking. SMCI not as good, but you know what? This held by a thread. Okay, ARM. Nope, ARM doesn't like when Japan is in the news because of the investors from Japan. Anyway, this is already back to the 21-day. So if you were playing because it was relative strength, look at this red dog reversal, got above 166, didn't hold it. That was the time to adjust after 1, 2, 3, 4 bunch of days. And then it broke this area. I don't know. No. Someone asked me, why did I buy Toast? I've seen it a bunch of times. I made money in a bunch of times, but this is a nice looking chart. You don't see many charts like this, even though it's been hard. You know, it's not like it's gotten through it, but pretty nice looking chart. This morning I framed CRCL. Someone said it was an epic trade for them today, not for me, but for them. Sometimes it's my job to make it an epic trade for someone else. Did get above and stay above 194. Got to 205. This 205 is not a problem anymore. Your next spot is really up to here. What's this high? 223-ish. Congratulations if you caught that epic trade. Yep. I thought IN1Q was going to save me today. Made me money, but it didn't save me. Still looks good though. They did definitely some very creative money raise that it went up first and then it came in and it still looks fine. I'm still in QBTS. Kind of hanging here. New point of reference, you could go like that, a little loose and wide, but okay. Need some time. Some guys like RGTI better. Same thing, just that can't be in all of them. QUBT, it's robotics play, not a quant. Went to highs, couldn't hold it. Need some time. Let it hold the 8-day, I hope, for those of you in it. Oklo, and the nuclear names were good. Right here, I started talking about it. I actually was in it. Because I had too much going on, I got out of it, which is so stupid. It's a rookie mistake, and still some room here. I probably should have taken some home. And an E, kind of turning up, I guess. This was from over here. It's got some room, SMR, same group. Little red dog reversal, went below, came back above it if you got stopped out. I guess Oklo looks out of the three of them the best for today, for tomorrow. As it's above the moving averages, it poked its head above the prior high earlier. Someone asked me about Airbnb. Looks pretty good. I know a lot of my friends still use Airbnbs in Montauk and places and stuff. Last time it was set up, went down. Gap up, went down. It's trying to repair. ON, you want me to look at? Fibby? Yeah. It's kind of tight. With all the tariff stuff going around, it kind of gets pushed around, so I'm just going to let you make all the money there, Fibby. With that, or maybe I'll take options or something, but whatever happened to Nike that day? Oh, not much. Still above this. Interesting. Yeah. I got stopped out of this. It's still hanging in there. I bought some options. I got stopped out of the stock. I got to wait for like a day one good candle here. Same thing with the UMAC. Just kind of tried to go above it, couldn't stay above it, and to me it's not, share-wise it doesn't look special, so I had to get out of it just so I don't get caught, just in case. At some point these things will wake up again. Palantir kind of rebuilt. Maybe turns into leadership again, like if you were looking for a reason to get in it, gave you a reason today. Showed relative strength, got above the moving averages. Definitely looks a little bit better. Went into rebuild mode. Ready? Remember the high here, broke the moving averages, got sold into strength, held here. This could probably go out of the way now. This may be two. Maybe make this channel a little bit bigger. This is up there. I guess you could still say it hasn't really negated this candle yet, but it's pretty close. Gets above this. I know I'd be worried if I was short. Looks pretty good, Dan the man. Dan the man. IWM was a pain in the ass. I wasn't in it, thank goodness. But all it did is I asked to get to the 8-day. Still hanging around. XBI, what'd you do today? Which it's lagged. It's, I don't know. Kind of held a little bit. I got out of the actual ETF and I'm still in some options to see how it performs, I guess. It's still the more problem sector. What JP Morgan do today? Kind of gave back a bunch of the recent days to show that it's vulnerable. I would raise my stop to here if you were in it, because it's got a decent amount of room below. Banks have been real strong. Yeah, I hear you, Radha. That's really it. I tried to kind of avoid a day like today, but I definitely lost money. And I made a lot of money short the SPYs and selling some premium, but there was nothing you could do when you have all these things, all these bits and pieces. It's tough. MDSI is not and is looking vulnerable. I guess you could just make the channel bigger. Means it needs more time. But if you're playing for the $55 calls for September 11th, it's not good. This really shouldn't have happened. If it was going to have momentum, it should never have gotten below there. See if this 21-day holds again, I guess. You can go like that now. If it doesn't hold, it doesn't hold. If it doesn't hold, it doesn't hold. It's such a sophisticated term. All right. A little tired. Hopefully you didn't get too beat up. What we'll take. Uh, like if it were to open lower tomorrow, like maybe I would be a buyer versus the 712. But to me, to just take it home today, just have more exposure in a market that I'm not sure exactly what's going to hold up. I don't know if the SPYs are going to hold. I don't know if the Qs are going to hold. I got to stand up for a second. I don't know if we're going to go to the 21-day again. So for me, I just would rather get more market discovery. And since I haven't been so in bed with this name, I know I bought a lot into here and made good money, but I also sold it early here or something. I don't remember exactly where, but yeah, I would day trade it maybe if it showed relative strength and we opened lower versus spot. That would get me interested in it. But it looks fine. It's above the 8 days. Again, it's a little loose and wide, and I want to just have a little bit more control. Like I should have taken the CRCL home, to be honest. I just didn't feel like being involved if they do a money raise or do something stupid or whatnot. I know I had it long here on this red dog reversal, and thank goodness I sold it pre-market before that happened. That would have been bad. The good book would say this thing should be headed to 220 tomorrow, 223, but we'll see. But thanks, Imek. All right, guys, have a good night. Take a breath, get some fitness, and I'll see you in the morning.